for another week. It's Friday, 6 p.m., and it's time for the Checkered Flag Show. Yes, guys, we're back, and it's another week. It's another week of the Checkered Flag Show here on SFeatley F1. Make sure you hit the like button and you hit the subscribe button as well. We're now up to 51. Let's get ourselves up to 100 by start of the season. Let's do that. Let's get it done. Yeah. I hope you're all well. Obviously, we had early this morning. We had the car launch. I'm not gonna make this too quick of a show. Probably it depends how long I want to talk about certain issues. Yeah, but obviously we had the launch early this morning of the W13. So I will quickly show that on there. W13 in all its form. Let's quickly show that. Links in the chat is actually as well. I'll put the link in the chat as well if anyone does want to come on and have their say. So as you can see, look, there is the new Mercedes. Right, there's Hamilton's. Right, there's the Hamilton's one as well. So they've gone for I think a very thinner nose than other competitors. Different design on the side pods as well. If that gives them a benefit or not, we'll wait and see. James Allison, the brains behind it, yet again, and he's been the brains behind the dominance of the Mercedes team for a fair few years now. So I still expect them to produce a very strong car, a very, very strong car. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, you can see there's George Russell's version of it, the number 63. So George Russell moving up into the team as well. We got Conor, mate. How you do, man?
Good, man. How you?
Yeah, man. I'm loving the look of this new car, man.
I'm jealous. It looks sick.
Oh no, I'm loving it.
I'm a little biased. I'm going to say I still think that the McLaren looks a smidge bit better, but I like that they've gone back to the silver.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss the black livery. I gotta admit, but I also like. I would say the Ferrari looks sick. I did like the look of the Ferrari.
See, I wasn't a huge fan of the Ferrari.
Really, I really
I
liked the
wasn't a
black
huge
and the
fan.
red. I liked it.
Those side pods, I could bathe my cat in those side pods.
Oh, don't. But look,
Seriously, they need to wash like Hamilton's gloves. Not Hamilton. They need to wash like Leclerc's gloves like mid-race for a little bit, or like in between qualifying sessions. They can just put some water in the side pod, get some soap.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, it's all
My
good.
thing decided. I decided to we got a storm here.
Oh yeah, I've heard about the storm apparently coming
Yeah,
in.
so my power decided to die.
Oh, fun.
Uh,
But no, I was saying,
so
if Leclerc needs to like wash his gloves, like in between qualifying sessions, they can just put some soap and water in those side pods. Wash the gloves, and then all they got to do is just vacuum or just get the water back out, dry it back off, and send them right back out.
yeah, definitely, and like we'll send
It's
them behind the
brilliant.
We'll send them behind the Mercedes as well.
I think this year it's going to be interesting because I honestly think that McLaren's actually going to battle with. I think honestly McLaren's going to be better than Ferrari, and I've not seen much from Red Bull to be confident
Red
in where their
Bull
car's
are
going to be.
hiding. They're hiding.
They are. Oh my! Karen's
I
hiding
think
that freaking car in a locked room that nobody else has the freaking key to but him.
it's either one thing. They've either done very well or they've done shit.
See, I think if you're a team like Red Bull coming off of a WDC, unless you've massively screwed up, you want to show off how nice that car looks.
Mm,
So I feel
I
like
think
that
they fucked it
hype.
up.
I think they fucked it. And I honestly think at the moment my top 3 teams right now are actually going to be Mercedes, McLaren, and then Ferrari.
What did I say last season about their expenditure?
Oh, they spent way too much, and they've lost all their tokens, so they couldn't do much. And the thing is it surprises me because Red Bull's very well known for doing very well with their cars. So for me, I might be wrong. And this car is actually incredibly good, and
If
they wanted
Max
to hide it.
Verstappen gets knocked out in round 1 of qualifying, I'm gonna laugh my fucking head off.
See,
Yeah,
this could
number
also
1,
be
mate.
what actually wouldn't surprise me if this may be a mind game where Red Bull, because they were
by the
going
way,
they were first.
sorry, Conor. And by the way, you can't get Masi to say, "Oh no, we'll do another lap." Sorry.
Yeah, and Toto can't get Masi's here either.
They ain't got the referee there either.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine
Yeah.
them?
Did you hear Jonathan Wheatley? Did you hear? I saw an interview after the Grand Prix, and like he did an interview on a Zoom meeting, and he's like, "Oh, I don't really feel about badgering the ref and this that," and I'm like, "You just basically told him to fucking stinge the thing up."
See, for me, it's funny because I bet you there's a button on all their control panels for the directors to immediately go to Masi. And I can just imagine Toto and Horner in race 1 seeing something and jamming the shit out of that button, hoping it works. Just spam clicking that button, going, please connect, please connect.
I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna love it. Like I'm just gonna see him.
I will say
I'm just
Aston
gonna,
Martin I'm not a fan of either.
mate. I'm sorry if that is the case with Red Bull, I'm gonna love this season.
I do think this might be though because they went first. Well, I think no, Aston Martin went first, didn't they?
Yeah, Aston Martin went first.
But I think Red Bull knew that Mercedes was so much later. Part of me also believes that this could be they wanted to put out a base of basically what the F1 like prototype is, just with their livery on top of it. And I bet you these past 2 weeks they've actually been making a crap ton of changes, and now that they were waiting for Mercedes to debut there so they can see how Mercedes looks and possibly do some things to be like, oh, they're doing this, so we're going to do this instead to try and beat them. I think McLaren's car can. I'm afraid.
No, the problem is that doesn't quite work. You can't just do that with one car. You can't just do it. You can't just.
We know how Red Bull likes to act though when it comes to rules.
Oh yeah,
Red Bull is with rules, so
apparently the rules doesn't apply to them.
It doesn't apply to Mercedes either.
Excuse me.
Come on, you know I'm right. If we're really looking at what went on that race, Hamilton kind of went and cut an entire corner at one point and got nothing called for it. But I'm not going to bring that up.
Where was he supposed to go?
I mean, you could also say that Hamilton was forced off the road at Monza, and that's why he got launched in the air and ended up on top of Hamilton. But that's neither here nor there.
You mean Verstappen?
Yeah,
Verstappen, but Verstappen is never alongside him.
This is either here or there. You're looking at a new season now. This is
right. And actually, Leclerc did that. Leclerc did that earlier, and he backed out and he pulled out.
So did Norris. Norris backed out with Leclerc. Yeah, Norris and Leclerc was a perfect example of how you do it because they stayed kind of side by side, but Also, can I just say Norris's overtake that race, going half on the grass to go on the inside, was one of my favorite overtakes all year. And even on the F1 YouTube channel, they I think ranked it like second or first on best overtake of the year.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, but then you could also say like in Brazil, it would have never happened anyway if it was the gravel trap. Like,
of course, we can also look at the fact that Hamilton used.
But like they said, they gave the advantage back by the end of the first lap. Before the end of the first lap,
how many laps
he had was given back.
What race it was? What race was it that turn 4? Hamilton literally just would not stay inside just kept going over the curb a little bit every single lap, and then finally Verstappen did it once. And
yeah, but that was over an overtake.
Yeah, but of course, he gained a bunch of time doing that, Hamilton, and they don't do anything to it. But then, of course, Verstappen doesn't want it, and it's a penalty. And I'm happy for that. Norris deserved it because that was incredible. Norris had a really good season. If he can replicate his first half and keep that momentum in the second half, he's going to be second or third in the Drivers' Championship. I completely believe it. But the thing that scares me with McLaren isn't Norris, it's Ricciardo. And here's why. Is we're not doing the same type of suspension on both the front and the rear of the car. We have a push rod.
See how it plays out, man.
We have a push rod on the front. We have a push rod suspension on the front and a pull rod suspension on the back.
Yeah.
And Ricciardo is notoriously known to be not good when he cannot feel the front of the car. If he can't feel the front of the car, which happens a lot with pull rod suspensions, he's been he's struggled very heavily. It happened at Renault. It happened before that.
We'll have to see what Norris had, but then here's the thing: is you see how Norris adapts to that as well. Like we're going. I mean, obviously we're going on a bit. Masi's gone. She's having a party. I'm having a party. Masi's gone. I'm happy.
Yeah, but no, I'm over the moon, and I think everybody in Formula One. If you're a Formula One fan, you have to be happy for this. Although I will go back to one of our buddies who's on a different podcast who commented that he's probably not gone. He's probably just going to get.
Oh, absolutely.
Away somewhere else, which is true.
He's probably get a promotion. He'd probably get a pay rise.
He'll probably be. I think he'll go the route of he'll be a consultant, where he'll get a pay raise and just move into a consultancy role where he can just consult, but it's really still his, because that's why they're having two guys.
If he gets a say still in what's going on during the Grand Prix,
then they might as well not fire.
I'm calling it out.
Yeah, they might as well not have fired him if they did that.
Yeah. I'm calling it out, but I don't think he will. The only thing I like out of it, and here's the thing: here's how much I don't trust the FIA right now. I don't care if they've bought this Natitchkin guy or Freitas guy in. Sorry if I've murdered the names, right? I don't care what they've done before. This is F1. This is a different kettle of fish. I don't care about endurance championships. I don't care about the touring car championships, right? F1's a different sport. So there's some things in F1 and you can't get away with in touring cars, like bashing people off the road, for example. Like maybe Max Verstappen needs to take the leaf out of that book.
I trust the FIA just as much as the distance I can throw one of these Formula One cars. And now I'm a big guy, but I cannot throw one of those Formula One cars.
In the end of it, the one thing I can trust is that the assistant is Herbie Blash.
Yeah,
that's the one person I can trust. Apart from that, I don't trust any of them. I don't trust any of them.
I agree with this last comment with how big Toto bigged up, because I was up at 1 a.m. this morning and I watched the reveal. Actually, I watched the full reveal because I was up at 1 a.m. this morning watching it. If Mercedes don't win both the WDC and the constructors, it's a failure of a season for Mercedes.
Oh yeah, of course.
With how nice his car looks, bringing back the silver arrow, and saying all this. If he didn't talk as big as he did, I don't think that there's as much pressure. But he talks so much that they have to back it up now, especially when you now replace Bottas with someone like George Russell.
No, do you know why? Do you know why he's done that? Hang on, Conor. I know exactly why he's done that. Like usually, we've gone into a season and they've been playing it down and playing it down and playing it down. He's got a point to prove, right? B, he wants to piss off Christian Horner. C, He knows why Red Bull haven't really revealed their car, right? He knows why. Otherwise, Christian Horner, we know Christian Horner. If Red Bull had done something well with their car, they'd be absolutely jumping up and down, screaming and shouting. Here's our car. Look how great it is. Da, 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 da. We know what Christian Horner's like. He does it in the media all the time. So the fact they haven't revealed it speaks fucking volumes. And
Oh,
Toto
absolutely.
Wolff's read that, and he's gone, yeah, okay, right? But remember what I said, we're saving all our money for this year. There's our car.
You know what I think is going to be the difference
He
here?
knows
The difference here is not
Mercedes
going
have
to be the
cracked
original car.
something in these regulations. I
I
bet
think
you Mercedes come up with something revolutionary in this. Don't forget the last major rule change in 2014, right? Look what
Red Bull
happened with
fucked it.
Mercedes,
Mercedes took off.
right? They had a revolutionary thing.
I think the beginning of the year is going to be very, very like you're going to see Williams, Romeo, Haas all bulk in one spot. You're going to see
Yeah.
Tauri, Alpine, Aston Martin all in one spot. They're all going to be like literally within like 0.2 of each other. You're going to see McLaren and Ferrari be right next to each other. And honestly, maybe I think very close to Red Bull and Mercedes. I think the winner of the WDC and the constructors this year is whatever team can utilize and correctly apply their tokens during the season of upgrading the car as the season goes along. And whoever makes the best decision
whoever hits the ground running on a ground effect.
Yeah, if anybody,
it's all about generating ground effect.
If anybody can crack, we've have a car that like I've gone over the car and I've looked at it. I've watched some specials on it and how it looks, and this car looks to be very literally focused on ground effect as much as possible. That's why the wing is where it is and how it is and that's how we've created the car completely.
To be fair, the last ground effect was early 80s.
Yeah,
McLaren were in the fight at that time.
We were bossing it in that time. I think the thing is it's interesting because you look at you see the design of Mercedes and McLaren.
Sorry, Conor, Luke. All I've got to say to that is, if they want a fucking motor race, we'll give them a fucking motor race.
I do I don't know if you saw Norris did an interview at the launch where they did this or that, and it was Hamilton or Verstappen. He said Verstappen because they're buddies, but then he's like, it was it Mercedes or Red Bull, and he goes Mercedes because they supply our engines, and you just hear Ricardo go, yeah, that's a good answer.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sitting there and I'm like,
you know what I actually have a thought about. It just popped in my head with saying McLaren with Mercedes. Could the engines themselves and the effect they have on how you can build that car, do you think that'll actually have a big impact on how these cars perform? Because if we see McLaren and Mercedes going off the jump, could that possibly be because their engine allows them to build a better car?
It depends how. Look. First of all, the reason Mercedes took off in 2014, because they were a works team, they could build their engine around the shape of their car, integrate it as integrated units. So it saves on aerodynamic performance. It gives you more aerodynamic performance because it makes it thinner. Right? Basically, even so, because they had it so thin, because it's so integrated, they had to put 2 flaps to meet the regulations to make it look thick, thick enough for the regulations to fit, because they made it that thin. Right? And that's the thing. If you've got an engine that's integrated well with the shape of the car, you save a lot and you gain a lot in aerodynamic performance. Now, obviously, I don't quite know if it's to do with just general performance with how it was last season with barge boards, with end plates and stuff like that, and general because the aerodynamic performance is very regulated to promote not how fast you can make your car, how fast you can make the racing. So it's thinking about other people rather than just focusing on your car and how fast you can make your car. So It's like you're saying you can make your car this fast, but as long as the guy can follow behind you. That's basically what they're saying. So when it comes to aerodynamic, they'll be very, very limited. So it's more probably when that's why the teams will be probably looking towards under the car. If that's why you probably see, if you see a lot of the noses in front of the car, you probably see why front of them have been higher this season.
Yeah.
You see they've been a bit higher or as high as the regulations will allow because they want to try and funnel as much air into that 3D
As
floor
long
as
as it's not a
possibly as
centimeter
possible.
over like that back wing at Brazil.
That's the thing. They want to try and funnel the air as much as they can underneath the car. The more air they get underneath and into that 3D floor, the better the ground effect they'll produce and the more downforce they'll produce. So anything that can help in that, so making it as high as they possibly can within the regulations without losing performance for the car behind, because that's what it's supposed to promote, then that's what they'll allow. And that's what the things with the tokens in the regular and the updates. When they bring an update, they will strictly regulate it to say, okay, then you want this update on this car. Does this hinder the other driver behind? Right? Does
Yeah.
it make him impossible to follow? Because if it does, you're not having it. Simple. Because they want better racing.
You know, I have for me, you can kind of actually see like a split down the middle of cars that are taking a big risk and really trying to go out of the box this year. And you can see cars that are kind of like, we're going to build a 2021 car to the 2022 specs, kind of. And those are Mercedes, McLaren, Williams, and Alfa Romeo.
Mm.
I think have very much just kind of put an emphasis on ground effect, but also just the side pods are very similar to last year's and the build, and the rear wing hasn't changed a ton. It's changed a little bit, but hasn't changed a ton. But then you see teams like Aston Martin and Ferrari and I think Red Bull as well and AlphaTauri both that I think have made big risks. Now it's going to be down to, I think, as well.
I
We're going
think
to see
the lower
whether
team, Ferrari and that, they've decided to take the risk because in the situation they're in, they've got nothing to lose, really, to be
especially
honest.
with who they have in the car. I know Sainz is gone after this year. I just
This,
know he's gone after
yeah,
this year.
this is the thing. They've got. There's a lot of that, like with teams like Aston Martin, the Ferrari, even Ferrari, where they've got the risk. They can take it's for them. They can take the risk because, like, they're wanting to be like Ferrari, unless they're winning races, or they're competing for championships. They're they're nowhere, so they'll take
I
the
think
risk.
Tifosi is
So
tired of that, though. I feel like the Tifosi is starting to get tired. Hearing from some Ferrari fans, I think the Tifosi is starting to get a little tired of the we can risk everything because we have nothing to lose. I think they're kind of tired of that after these 2019, 2020, 2021 years of the underperformance and then barely scraping third with two guys that were good but could have been a lot better last year in Leclerc and Sainz. I think Sainz is one of the most underrated drivers on the field and performed very well, especially towards the end. But I think the only reason Ferrari got third last year is because of the unreliability of the car in the second half for McLaren and the really bad start by Ricciardo to start the year. If Ricciardo has a decent start and we have a more reliable car second half, we blow Ferrari out of the water and take third pretty easily back-to-back years.
yeah, I think with Ferrari, I think it's more uh, the Ferrari. The expectation is you've got to be up there. So that in the end for Ferrari, like if as simple as this, if Binotto doesn't perform, if the car doesn't perform, Binotto's gone,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Same as probably like a number of they'll have another restructuring. So I think that for them, they're quite happy to. I think for Binotto, it's like, well, I've got to take the risk because I've got to get this car performing. I've got to get it up there. I'll also say is that like with other teams like Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, they can take the risk. They can take the risk because they've like because of where they are. So, like, why not have a stab in the dark? You never know.
If it blows up in their face though, and ends up being a 2019 or I mean a 2020 all over again, where literally reliability is just not there. It's not quick. It's not where it should be.
Big up.
Not only is Pinnacle gone, but do you think they might see a double change in drivers if these drivers can't perform with this car?
Maybe.
I know Leclerc's a golden boy, but so was Vettel for a while, and look how easily they threw him out.
Yeah.
When we saw Leclerc come in, could
Yeah,
Leclerc
but
get that same treatment with
to
Mick?
be fair, Leclerc's from the actual academy itself, so
So with Mick, could we see Mick come in and basically take that golden boy stat?
yeah, but that's the thing. Like the Sainz will get replaced, so they'll have two boys that will be academy drivers. So that they would add more loyalty to Leclerc and Mick Schumacher rather than Sainz and Vettel. So so they'll get probably a bit more time. Hi Stevie, okay. Miss Sadie's looked nice today. Did you see in Lewis's interview on Sky where he said he just wanted to forget about 2021? No surprise. He was always going to come back. Love the stream. Thanks. Glad Masi is gone. They have 2 new race directors and now good stuff. Hopefully it improves going forward. Must do right. Hey, it should do. It should do. Like, yeah, I'm sure Lewis just wanted to forget about that. And
I knew he was coming back. There's no chance he wasn't coming back. I think he just took the time away because he didn't want to deal with both. I feel like even he, at this point,
I still can't get over that bullshit over like during the RB18 launch. You're saying that's satisfactory.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've got no respect for that team anymore. I really don't. I hope it fails.
I think it's going to be a terrible car this year. I really do.
I know I know they're getting £500 million from Oracle. I hope it fails. I hope this team sponsor pulls out. I hope it fucking fails. It gets sold out. And Christian,
I mean, we've seen.
I can't stand them anymore.
I will say, so getting away from, of course, the rivalry, thoughts on Alpine, brand new technical director. I'm not a fan of his. I know he's a great technical director, and I've heard some inklings.
The thing is, Conor, it's the one of those. It's that, like, it's sort of, you knew that was wrong, and now you're just trying to rub it in even more.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But I think that's honestly the stupidest thing to do. Is just.
And I'm like, don't
be a twat.
Honestly, I really do hope Hamilton, as much as I like Russell to do well, and I think he will.
You gotta want Hamilton to be the better driver.
I just want Hamilton to really win it this year, just to say, look, there you go, stick that up here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's the same way for me. I love Ricardo. I really want him to do well, but Norris is my favorite driver, like Hamilton's yours. I want Norris to boss it and be in the top 3 in the drivers' championship this year, and I think he's close to that stage.
And Russell will get his opportunity.
Russell will get his opportunity because Hamilton, I think, is gone after this year.
Yeah, he'll get his opportunity.
He'll get his opportunity. He'll leave. He'll get his opportunity. I think Norris, if we've gotten this right, and the reliability is there, and he's hopefully, when it comes to the rainy day conditions, he's learned from Russia. I think this is a guy who could be a 4-time race winner this year, in the top 3 in the drivers' championship. I really do. People say that when everybody goes, okay, comparing Leclerc, Russell, and Norris together, and everybody goes, well, Norris is the worst, and I'm like, well, I don't see where you get that, because you look at Leclerc and a car that did really well, and then a team that ended up.
And this is why it brings me on.
He still is below us.
But I mean, and he's just mentioned it there about Red Bull, and this is why it's for me. And then I saw that when you're hearing those other, I knew about the radio message from that inside story ages ago. Right?
Oh yeah, I've known about that forever.
Thinking about it, and I'm thinking, do you know what? The fact that all of a sudden they've now got a £500 million deal, the biggest ever deal in Formula One history, and you're not saying F1's not going to take a slice out of that? Of course they are.
Oh, for sure. They probably took 10% of that.
You're telling me Masi's not known anything about that before the race? You're telling me there's not a caveat saying that they've got to be world champions?
Oh, definitely. Definitely got to be. Hey, you need
You
to
see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry. I can't. I think it was absolutely fixed. They saw
I
the
don't think
opportunity and fixed it
But the
completely.
thing is also, I do agree with the notion that Hamilton deserved that win, but Verstappen did deserve to win that title. And you even agreed with me at the end of the year as well that
Yeah.
Verstappen deserved to win the championship, but Hamilton did deserve to win that title. I mean, did deserve to win that race. It should have been Hamilton just comes up short, can't make up enough ground with win and final race. That I think should have been the headline after the final
I
race.
get that. I just feel. I just think. I think once that was one of the calm down. I think because when I was sort of half getting towards the end of the season and seeing some of the actions, I think especially after Saudi Arabia, for example, I was like, I don't care what happens in the last race. I'm not accepting it. I wasn't accepting it. If he wins it, I'm not accepting it because
You think this is something where it's a
you don't
necessary
drive
evil?
like that.
You think this is a necessary evil, though, where it's a necessary evil to finally get Masi out of that spot because Masi's not been good ever, and hopefully
Yeah,
this will finally get some steward. I'm hoping there's some reform for the stewards this year because above Masi, like I'll even say the stewards were a worse problem than Masi was for the sport of Formula
do
One
you
this
see how
last
the
year.
FIA were trying to cover it up? Let's do it
Of
for after
course,
the Ferrari launch. Yeah, of course we're not going to notice, are we? Of course, right? And this Ben Siley, this guy, this new president, I don't know who he is. I'm already fucked off with him already. I don't
he's
give
an
a
idiot.
fuck. He's sitting there like, oh yeah, I understand what Lewis is going through, but if we have to punish him because he bids the prize giving, God, rules are rules. And I'm like, excuse me, no one knew who you were president, and no one knew who you were until you were a president, right? So it just shows how shit of a driver you were. Did you ever fight for the Pinnacle of Motorsport? No. Did we ever in the Pinnacle of Motorsport?
Do you
No.
remember?
So don't
See, that
sit there.
reminds me of. Do you remember the interview between
So
Crofty and Horner, where Horner's like, "Too bad you were never able to race here, huh?" And he's like, and then
oh,
Crofty's like,
but
"Well, it's too bad
yeah,
that you were never good enough to make Formula One, then."
yeah. That's why I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there like that, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Like you're saying all that and coming out with these comments. Do yourself a favor, mate. Shut up while the going's good.
You're
Shut up
brand
while
new.
the going's
You
good.
can't be
You've got
talking
no
like that. You're
idea.
brand new.
You've got no idea what Lewis Hamilton's thinking right now. So get your head out of your ass, right?
I
Because it's
think
so
though
far up, it's unreal.
this could have been a necessary evil, and I will say to that
Yeah.
comment though, I think so. I'm actually gonna predict right now, and Steven, you can clip this. So if I'm massively wrong, you can expose the shit out of me. But
Yeah.
my top four for race number one this year, I think Hamilton's going to take the win. I think you're going to see. I'm honestly going to throw a shock here. I think Norris is going to be P2. This may be a little bit biased, but I think Norris is P2. I truly do. I think if their car is quick, it's a Mercedes engine, and their car is quick, and it's built very similarly with a couple little differences, but they put a huge amount of attention on the
Is
ground
this
effect.
like the first race?
First race. I think it's Hamilton, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc. And the only one I'm unsure about is if Red Bull is truly as bad as you say. I think it's a 1-3 by Mercedes, and George is finishing third or second. I think George, Verstappen, and Norris are interchangeable depending on how well Red Bull does and how quick George can get out of the blocks in that Mercedes.
I think I don't like doing it unless I see testing first, but
I will probably end up editing my thoughts come testing.
yeah. This is my brief brain. Like I'm not actually for this is not firm, so you can't really clip these because they ain't firm. Like Hamilton first, Russell second, Norris third, Leclerc fourth, Verstappen about sixth.
It'd be jokes. Red Bull's car is so bad that they finish outside the top 10, both of them, the very first race.
Mate, if that happens, I'm literally atting Christian Horner and said, what you saying now, motherfucker?
I need to be on that watch along for that race or the reaction because
Mate, I am bantering anyone that comes near me. all you fans that were coming near me after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix result, yeah, I want to see you all in a chat when that happens. I want to see you all there. Come on. I want to see you all there when it happens, when you're outside the top 10, right? And you can't even get in it. I want to see then. I want to see it in testing as well. When you're far off the pace.
This is what you call the way too early predictions right here.
Yeah. But then I'll just sit there and I'm like that. I said, yeah, you all wanted to come in my face and troll us. Come on, man. Yeah.
I think, and I will agree that I think that could possibly be it as well. But I think, like, I agree with you. I think Red Bull not showing their true cards because they've made a massive mistake.
I really do think they made a massive mistake. They would say something. They would show something of that car. I'm sorry. They would show something. They did last season.
They have, oh, this is
Last
actually what the
season,
front wings look like.
I'll give you a comparison. Last season, they didn't want to show a certain part of it, but they wanted to promote it like, this is it. This is a car. This is our challenger. We believe we've done right on these rules. And look, they went straight out and they were blitzing everyone in testing, right? And everyone was worried about Mercedes who weren't performing. And I was sitting there saying that, oh, I've had certain people who don't come near me anymore, right? For certain reasons, right? He thinks he knows F1, he doesn't, right? That's, jack shit. Because he's still sitting there using an excuse. Oh, they had an agreement. Yeah, Baldy. Yeah, regulations come above an agreement in a meeting, you motherfucker. Right? So go read the rule book. Right? So yeah, you won't find him here. But you're sitting there saying, I'm going to be crying at the end of the season. You said the only reason I was crying is because you decided to get the referee to fix it. Basically, because Hamilton beat you fair and square in the last race, 0 points each. You got beat fair and square. You had to get someone to fix it for you.
I will say though, my hat's off to Sergio Perez because what the hell?
Sergio Perez kept him in the game.
I will say
because if it weren't for Sergio Perez,
yeah, no chance.
Hamilton would have pitted.
Couldn't have even fixed it at that point.
He would have been able to pit because he would have been about 20 seconds in front. Verstappen had to go at safety car speed, which would have given Hamilton the time to get in, pit for soft tires, come back out.
I will say I will call Hamilton a bit of a pussy for his comments when he was trying to get around Perez and saying that was dangerous driving, and that's not the way he was driving was not okay.
I think he was more pissed off of how slow he was going around the last sector.
But say that. Don't say it's dangerous driving and attack Perez when he's just
because he couldn't anticipate how slow he was going. That's why. There's no brakes on these cars, by the way. Right? So if he's going about a 1 or 2 seconds off round a corner than he's supposed to be, it's like it's like in a game where you play amateur level 0 and you know you can play 80 easy. All of a sudden you're struggling to anticipate how slow they're actually going around the corner. So it's like,
my gosh, yeah, I've crashed.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he said. That's what he meant. That's what he meant by it. He meant like, hang on, he's going a bit slow here, guys. Come on.
But I feel like say that if you're just calling it dangerous driving, then you're just kind of going after him.
It is because he was like, look, I've nearly crashed into him about 3 times because he's going so slow.
Didn't get around him, and he couldn't.
Yeah, but he couldn't because it's the last sector. That's why I'm saying, like. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have said anything.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. But look, I'm like I said. Like I said before, Red Bull. You're fucking guilty because you didn't even want to mention it. They all went, but how you had a great year last year, didn't you, the guys? And like, oh, we're not worried about this year. We want to move on to next year. Hang on. You've just won your first ever fucking title match. You'd be wanting to jump in for joy, don't you? Because everyone else was. Vettel was. Hamilton was. Schumacher was. Senna was. Everyone was. They were all going on about it, waxing Liverpool at the next car launch. And you're like, oh, I just want to move on now.
Yeah, a little bit sketchy to me there.
Yeah, because you knew you got Jonathan Wheatley to do you a favour. Basically. Right, berating the referee, basically telling him what to do, and he's like, "Yeah, it's understood. I'll get it done." right? You made the decision, and then you go, "Oh, I'm sorting something out." You sorted it out. You told them that you're not overtaking, so you sorted it out. Dickhead, fixed it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. You can't change my mind on it anymore. I'm not having it. I'm calling it out as it is. Fixed. It's fixed. I don't care. FXED. Fixed. Simple. I'm sorry. You know me, Conor. I don't really like to go and say it's the ref's fault. It's the ref's fault. It's the ref's fault. You know me in football. I don't like doing that. But I'm sorry. After what I saw there, I can't do it. I can't. I can't get my head around it and saying it's fixed because they knew they were getting a £500 million deal. They knew they were getting that Oracle deal, and I bet you was in the contract. He's got to be a driver's champion. I bet you.
I think there was the thing is we can look at it, and there's many.
And I bet you there would have been even more. There'd be even more money, an extra 100 mil, if they were constructors as well.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying on that, and all I'm saying with Red Bull, if they were so confident about their car,
they would
have been like last year.
They would have been like Toto was this year.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have been sandbagging in testing. They weren't sandbagging last season in testing. They were showing their true pace. That's why when Mercedes come and beat them in Bahrain, they were like, "What?" Because I told everyone at the time. Everyone's saying I'm going to be crying after the first race, and I'm like, I'm cool because Mercedes will find a way, and they did. And in the end, you lot said I was going to be crying, and Verstappen was going to win it with races to spare. Okay.
I think he does. If Monza doesn't happen and Silverstone doesn't happen, I think Verstappen has the lead. Has won it by the time we get to the last race, though.
Probably till the last race, but like they were thinking of like Hamilton sort of thing, like he was dominate throughout the season.
No chance. No chance.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're thinking Hamilton's just going to step aside like that? Yeah, right. Get it, Bill. Like this is a guy who got an MP44 or an MP24, sorry, which if you don't know what that is, that's probably the worst McLaren I've ever seen in my fucking life. Right? That was after the first qualifying session in Australia, after he just became world champion, he finished 18th in qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to get that by the end of the season to win 2 races. And you're telling me that he's just going to step aside? Yeah, okay, jog on. Where's Max won in every season? Oh, wait, he didn't, did he? He's
still below Kimi Räikkönen in terms of total wins, I think.
And before people say, oh, no, but hang on a minute, you can't use that. He was driving the Toro Rosso. So was Vettel. He won in that.
Toro Rosso won the very first. He won before Red Bull did.
Yeah, they won him. Yeah, Red Bull. Red Bull got beaten by their own fucking sister team. They got beaten by their sister team by Vettel to their first ever win. And you're telling me he can't win in a Toro Rosso? Bullshit.
That's so embarrassing. I'd be so embarrassed if I was Red Bull at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say, I hate the look of this Aston Martin.
You don't like the look of it? I like the look of it.
It looks like, no, because the body of it looks like a freaking parabolics and a freaking sausage. Looks fucking terrible.
Oh, look.
The wing is taller than freaking, what's his name? Tyrion Lannister.
Let's have a look.
The wing's freaking higher up than
Tyrion
Lannister.
Guys. We're gonna get this all together. So we're gonna go. We're gonna look at the W13. So here's the W13 in all its splendor.
I only get this because I have an email that's showing like all the different cars, and I hate it.
Right. Then we've got the AMR22.
Tell me that doesn't look like a parabolics at the back, right where the cockpit is.
He's got a point, you know. What's that?
You can't tell
That's
me
it.
that the
I can't
cockpit
look at
doesn't
that
look like
car in the same way again. No, I'm like,
the
I was looking
cockpit.
forward to driving that in the new game.
The
Fuck
cockpit
you.
looks like a pair of
You're a
bugs.
swat. I hate you now. I can't drive that now. Anyone drives that car in the game is going to be scarred for life.
I'm sorry, I just look at that and that's exactly what I see. And I will say right now to that comment, Zhou is not good. I'm not a fan of Zhou.
Zhou.
It's because Zhou went up against rookies both of his years in Formula 2 and lost both of them. And he got third in the Drivers' Championship this last year in F2. Oscar Piastri won Formula 3, went up to Formula 2, and then won Formula 2 in his first year as well. And now is having to go off and wait a year because Zhou took a spot that should rightfully be Piastri's.
Yeah. Look, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Like, but I've always had the notion with anyone is give him a chance to prove everyone wrong.
I will ask a question. Actually, I'm going to go away from cars for a second. And once we're done with the cars, what do you think of the different tracksuits worn? Because they've changed. The Ferrari's changed up their look with the black stripe. You see McLaren.
Yeah, I like the black suit.
I love the Alfa Romeo. I think Bottas looks like he's ready to do some war in that all black tracksuit.
Is it? Oh, you mean the race suit?
Yeah, the race suit's all black for him and Alfa.
I thought they're not releasing it until next week.
There's a picture of him getting in the car that just broke, and it's him in all black. I gotta see if I can find it. I saw it somewhere on Twitter.
Yeah. So
sorry for the Aston Martin for you though, but that's here it is. I got the picture right here. I got the picture right here. All black suit. All black suit, all black racing helmet. I think it looks honestly kind of sick. It's on Tomo. If you go to Tomo F1's Twitter.
Oh, Tomo F1. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's on his Twitter.
Yeah, I know who he is.
If you follow Formula 1, you know who Tomo is.
Yeah. Right,
yes, I will agree with this because I'm a McLaren fan. I think McLaren.
I've been trying to get him on actually. I've been trying to see if he can.
I love the livery that we have this year. I wanted more. You heard me. I wanted more of the Gulf livery in the design this year, and we definitely did that.
I don't know whether that will stay the same though, to be honest, mate. But there you go. But I'm hoping, like, yeah, I've been trying to get him on for a while, so I'm hoping he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. We'll try and get him on at some point, hopefully in the future. Wow, look at this. Look at this on the F175. Look. Look at this. Oh no, I didn't see it on that one. Hang on, get out of here. Watch. I've just found this on his Twitter as well. I found this on his Twitter. Look at this. This is. I'll get to the question in a minute. Don't worry. Look. Got a rouge in the middle of the F175. You know what I mean? That's sick. I like that. That's cool, man.
Is that Ferrari's?
That's Ferrari's F175.
So not only are you going to give them a side pod that they can wash the gloves in, but the other side, you can go get a toy car after you've crashed out, and you can just do it. You can pretend like you're
reenact how you put it in the wall. Basically, reenact how Norris can't seem to get up a Baruja in the wet.
Yeah, no. So what'll happen is
reenact how Norris can't get up a Rouge in the fucking pouring rain, can he?
Okay, that should have been red flagged, and even Vettel said, something. I mean, they could get two cars and reenact, Silverstone, or they can reenact Verstappen going on top of Hamilton.
Mate, you could start this all over again.
Or they can reenact Brazil.
Go look at the Crashalongs again, mate. You'll find Max Verstappen had all the room in the world, so get out of here. I'm not having it. Like, I'm not having it. Not having this anymore. Like, what's your favorite livery so far? Mine's McLaren orange, black, and blue. Looks cool. Oh, I love the silver. Looks nice because you ain't seen it in 2 years.
Well, we saw the gold livery last year, so I think it's sick.
I'm thinking more the F1. I'm more thinking the F175, to be honest.
See,
I like the Ferrari.
Again, the Ferrari.
I used to be a Ferrari fan as well.
See, and this might just be me being McLaren. I don't like Ferrari, but Ferrari I don't like the look. I feel like if you're going to go with a black stripe, you should have incorporated more black into the car. If you're going to go with changing up the all red suit to red and black, I think you got it because you can see how McLaren did it. We changed to match the livery. It was orange. It was our papaya, but with the little treads of blue.
I think
that's what we did in the
sometimes. Suit. Yeah, but like you're not going. I don't think you're going to be honest though, because with the F175, with the Ferrari, right? The Ferrari is always going to be predominantly red. So,
I mean, it has to.
Yeah, it has to. So having a black front wing and rear wing. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a bit of 1998 where they had the black front wing.
I just had a thought, and I think it's freaking hilarious.
And yeah, so for me, I prefer I don't mind it, to be honest.
Could you imagine? I'm just going to say this now because I think it's hilarious. It just popped in my mind. I think it's hilarious. Could you imagine if
look at that, it's out on circuit there. Looks
they release the Ferrari, right? And it's black and red instead of red and black. You imagine the outroar if it was black with a red front and back wing instead of red with a black. Oh my God.
Ferrari fans would go ape shit.
Fat Where's Waldo would be trying to go into hiding. That's still my favorite nickname in all of F1, by the way. Be calling Bonato. And for those who have not seen me before, I have nicknames for like most of the drivers and even team principals in Formula One. And for me, I call Bonato the Fat Where's Waldo because he's got the Mino Raiola glasses.
It looks nice for me. I like it. I really did like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nice bathing in those side pods after you crash out, but
Well, we'll see how they go. Like, you never know. Obviously, there's 3 sprint races. There's Imola, Austria, and Brazil that are planned to be sprint races. I wonder why Brazil was a sprint race. Because someone came from last. Or no, he didn't come from last. He came from 25th.
And then he got sent back again.
No, that's what I'm saying. He came from 25th place and still won. You might as well just put him back. You put him like literally on the last spot on the grid. Like, like you're not on the 22nd spot. You put him like right in the very, 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 very last spot you've got. Like,
you know what was crazy? What was a crazy race for me? One of the craziest decisions. I think one of the craziest decisions by any team all year was Mercedes sending Hamilton out to start on the actual track at Hungary. Everybody else.
Stone. I remember that. Yeah. I remember the highlight. I remember that. And I'm thinking,
picture of just him by himself.
Everyone else are pitting. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I was part of the watch along for that. I remember you were screaming.
I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Because I've been fuming the whole lap because Norris got taken out by Bottas and Hamilton had a really good start. And then
Brethren John's like having a go at everyone because like I think it is just because like both Red Bulls have been taken out by Bottas.
McLaren had been taken out. Ricardo had damage and had to get checked. But I think the 2 stupidest team decisions.
I love how Max Verstappen put it in like he's saying, "Oh, it's not what you want," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, because we deliberately this whole Bottas to go stick it in your fucking rear end, mate." Yeah, of course.
I think the worst 2 calls by a team all year were that call for Mercedes in Hungary and McLaren in Russia not saying no. You need
because we would have won the race. We would have won the race.
And Norris would have won Russia if it wasn't for the fact that the team let him decide. And unfortunately, Norris doesn't have the experience yet to make that call. Hamilton made the call, Norris didn't, and that's what cost him.
I think even then he could have just like waited till the lap later. He could have just pitted the lap later and just taken second.
You know what terrified me though? You mentioned earlier the crash in Eau Rouge at Spa by Norris. That terrified me because I had Hubert flashbacks.
Mm.
I had Antoine Hubert flashbacks seeing him go up Eau Rouge and crash.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when
no, yeah. The reason I wasn't too worried is because obviously there was no one coming into.
there's no one like trying to pull him out immediately, and then
Yeah,
of course
there was no one coming up. There was no one coming over a Rouge to take him to hit him, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Then there's Vettel. I love Vettel. The breath of relief that I released when Vettel was like, "Yeah, he's okay." I'm like, "Okay, perfect, sweet," because he should have never been on that track.
Oh, actually, I remember. Actually, no. Hamilton was finished second, didn't he?
He barely finished. Yeah, he finished just second Hungary because if you remember, that was where Ocon won, I think, and
Yeah, Vettel
Alonso
was done for
had
fuel
like
flow.
and Alonso had like the defense of the century until Perez happened in the last race.
Stone.
I remember the face of. I remember freaking Sainz's face watching that crash was just. You could tell that he was incredibly worried.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, I feel like Russell has to say that the title is taken away from Hamilton, though, especially because you saw his outrage at the very end of the race at the end of last year. I feel like you have to do that when you're about to be the teammate.
Oh no, and it's not so much that. I think no, I don't think it was more that. It wasn't just the fact the result of the race. I think it was more the fact of how the procedure went. That the procedure went is that basically he knows the rules. He's one of the directors of the GPDA, so he knows the rules. He knows that if you let the cars through, you've got to come in on the next lap, right? The safety car's got to come in on the next lap, and also all the cars. And how is it? He's also saying, how is it fair? You can only focus on 5 drivers, right? So you can focus on the top 2 and not worry about everyone else. You can't run a race like that.
Ricardo was the very first person to be not let through when it came to that minor.
But this is the thing. Like you cannot focus on the top 2 and think it's just a race for them, right? It's not. You have to judge the race on everyone, so it's fair for everyone. So that way, that means, well, yes, well, no, but what it means is that if you're letting lap cars through, all the lap cars go through, so that Sainz has a fair chance, 4th has a fair chance, 5th has a fair chance, 6th has a fair chance. So
you
can't just worry about the top 2. That's what he was saying about it.
Yeah, what hurt me is just seeing Kimi not finish his last race. That hurt.
Yeah.
Watching him not finish his last race just crushed me.
I remember the whole thing. I just remember the whole Grand Prix. It was just more like every time someone was going out, I'm just like, do me a favor, put it in the service road, put it in the service road, put it in the service road, put it in the service road. Like it's when Giovinazzi describe, I'm gonna park it 2 miles from the fucking service road, and I'm like, you prick. Like, like, you prick. You just couldn't park it next to it and just bring out a yellow flag only. No, you had to park 2 fucking miles away. Like, okay.
Gio or Verstappen fan confirmed.
Yeah, but then the other time in 2019, I was like sort of bigging up Alfa Romeo for when I got
I still think Gio deserves to have his spot. I still think Gio should have that spot over Zhou.
To be fair, like I do remember when I got back from into the hotel after the 2019 British Grand Prix, we had the Alfa Romeo team staying there, and I was just like, do me a favor, because you say thank you to Giovinazzi because like he's helped give Hamilton the win. Sorry, I just had to say it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very. It's going to be an interesting year because this is one year finally where we're seeing so many regulations that you cannot actually say exactly how the year is going to go. You can hope that Mercedes is the top one. You can hope that McLaren is going to be third, clearing out. I can hope that.
Can you see why I was so desperate to win it this last season, not this season?
Yeah. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, just had some cunts in the FIA, and some pricks that we were fighting with. Right. Every time we seem to make an overtake, it's, oh, he's done this, he's done that. But every time they make an overtake, it's racing.
I got a picture I want to show you real quick.
Oh, God, do me a favour. Oh, look, Michael Masi's in the background taking a selfie. If you see, look, no, if you see on the bottom of that trophy, Grand Prix winner Max Verstappen etched underneath, given by Michael Masi.
I mean, he's the race director. Of course, he had to be the one to award it.
Prick. Mate, I just don't want him anywhere near an F1 weekend again. Don't ever land in this country.
Bro, by the way, can I just say this came up?
The fan base will not. The fan base will not like you.
Look how close Shaquille O'Neal is to actually being the same height when Verstappen's on a podium.
Yeah.
Let's remind you, Verstappen's on the top step of the podium, and Shaq is at his shoulders.
Mm.
I've met Shaquille O'Neal before, like face to face.
Do you know what? Maybe for Masi sense, like if he wants to race direct the British Grand Prix, I'm sure the British fans would love to meet him at the airport. Just you know what I mean? But there you go. Anyway, yeah, after all carnage and mayhem, as usual. Interesting debate as usual. But we're gonna be calling it there. We're gonna be back next week with more.
You and I just taking subtle digs at each other as we go along, as always.
Yes, we are. And then next week we're talking about the
retarded the FIA is for not allowing the freaking pre-testing to be.
It's because it's a pre-testing session. It's not.
I don't care if it's a pre-testing session. They can.
I know.
Do it.
Yeah, I know. Just don't even go there. But there you go. And we're gonna have to leave it there. I'm gonna love when Red Bull turn up and find out shit we ain't got a car.
I would love for Red Bull. You know, the fucking most hilarious thing is they've got it so wrong that they just DNF the first race because something goes wrong with the car.
No, they take over their Honda Power, and it's like, we have developed our first Honda Power 11 laps later. I can't find the fucking setting.
Hey, you know who can find some? You know who can help a team like? You know who can help someone find a setting that really, really screws them? Is Hamilton.
No.
Azerbaijan.
No. Fuck off. No, I said. Yeah, unfortunately, Michael Masi ain't gonna give you a setting on the button, mate. Bollocks.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see that button taken away for all the team principals too. No more just going, Michael, it's not right. Michael, it's not right.
Yeah, no, but what I see is if they do, it's kind of like what happened in 2020, like the first race of 2020 where like they had their Honda Power, and I think they did that Oliver Heldens thing at Zandvoort where they introduced the season. Right, and at the beginning of the show, he takes a picture of him with like doing the Heineken experience where he's at a stable, right? And he said, like, take a picture of a horse, sending him some horsepower to Max Verstappen. And I just I just wanted someone to do that as a meme. So it's sending you some horsepower. Fast forward to the 11th lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. Can't find the fucking setting. Blows up.
You know what? Mercedes has won this year as long as they've taken away the party button from the Mercedes car. If there's no more party button on that Mercedes, they'll have so much better year.
Do you know who? Yeah, do you know why? Because someone can't develop it, so it's got to be banned, right? But if we can't develop,
have you seen the clip?
But here's the thing: we developed the flexi wing, and then they fucking have a go at us for developing it, and I'm like, well, you've got one.
Have you seen the clip of Lando jokingly going, "I'm going to do a DAS on this lap," and he just takes the steering wheel off the simulator and he just goes straight left into the wall. This is like, I'm going to do a DAS. I'm going to pull a DAS Mercedes here, and he just pops the steering wheel off, and you just see the car go straight to the left.
Oh,
you know what? One of the most underrated bad crashes this last year that doesn't get talked about enough was Bottas and Russell.
Oh,
Because
mate,
they nearly came to blows.
Yeah. That was a bad
Over
one.
that. They nearly came to blows over that one.
Mate,
even though,
that was
honestly,
no. Do you know that was all part of the plan because they knew Williams, like George Russell was going to be teammates with Hamilton, Bottas is teammates with Hamilton, and they knew Hamilton was about to park it up in the freaking gravel trap, so they needed the way out. So hence why they needed to cause an accident. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's timing, you know what I mean?
Sports is so much fun. I love watching racing because, oh my gosh, are you okay? Last thing we'll talk about. Are you excited for DTS season 4?
Who's gonna just skip to the end bit and just see what the ending bit
Oh,
is?
I'm watching the last episode first.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna watch it back to front.
I've literally
gonna say, where's the stingy deal in the background?
You just see a guy wearing an Oracle shirt, just shaking hands with Masi. Just I'd be so funny. Red Bull Village.
If there is a deal in the background, am I there? Yeah, I'm still there. Sorry, but I'm honestly, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, if you see them talking in the background, I am literally going to point that out in the background and say, "Told you, it's fucking fixed." It's. I'm literally going to look for it. Let them like him, Jonathan Wheatley, and Michael Masi in the background, just like that.
Could you imagine just seeing an it shows like Michael Masi.
So what are you listening to, guys? You're going to stick it in the wall about that 55, right?
And we're gonna just let him go through, or just have like a photo or a video of Masi shaking hands with a dude from Oracle.
Oh, mate, I can see it. Is it me?
I think it might be both of us. My Wi-Fi is a little spotty, but we'll end it there.
Yeah, we'll end it there because the net completely died. Anyway, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Conor, where can I find you, my friend?
Here, and then also on the Man United agenda and Rich Sports, and then of course my name I always use it. There is also my name on Twitter. You can find me there. I'm pretty active on Twitter.
Wicked, yeah. Especially if you want banter about F1 all day. There you go.
My name is exactly.
You wanted to see it in the community chat today, like when Masi was fired. You just had like Total Wolf.
Oh, you saw me poke. I will poke around and just talk. I only come in when I know I can poke shit. I remember I've done it with Luca before. I've done it with plenty of people where I just wind them up in the chat. I remember the response from Total Wolf was a wink, and I'm like, oh no, Total has no one to complain to now. Oh my gosh.
Hang on, I'm just gonna bring the message up yeah. This is what I sent to. Before you just go, and then we're just gonna right up it. As Masi got fired, I sent him this message on the community chat. Bang.
I remember that. As he got fired, you sent that, and then Total Wolf winking, and I'm just like, oh no, Total's got no one to complain to. I also love this is when Masi got fired. You're like, that's what happens when you screw over a 7-time world champion. I'm just like, asterisk. This is what happens when you screw over the entire sport.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. I'll say something else, but it'll be off air. But make sure to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and we're back. We'll probably be back tomorrow. No, probably not be back tomorrow actually, because I'm busy with the game and everything. So make sure you do. We'll probably be back on Sunday, so on the SFeatleyTV, but SFeatleyTV will be doing the Brentford game and watch along, player ratings, fan cams, all that rubbish. So yeah, make sure you join us then. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see